guys. Let's get into this. I just got a couple. I had 4 here, but I'm only going to throw a couple out. You all know how I like my murder mysteries and Dateline. I just saw one a couple weeks ago. It's one of the best Datelines I've ever seen. It was a recap of what's going on out in Idaho. Have you guys been following the case with Brian Kohlberger?
Is that the students, the college
students at the University of Idaho? Yeah, and this guy is accused and he's charged with it. He's going to be going on trial, Brian Kohlberger. But NBC somehow, they had a mole in the police department, and they have this Dateline from a couple weeks ago. It's called The Terrible Night on King Road. I'm seriously saying, if you get a chance to catch it on YouTube or Google it or whatever, The Terrible Night on King Road. This is one of the best Datelines I've ever seen, with, behind the scenes stuff of an upcoming trial. I mean, they show this guy's car. They show all kinds of inside stuff that only the police are supposed to have right now. In fact, the defense is raising a ruckus saying, hey, how can we have a fair trial? This stuff's all been put out publicly. So they're trying to figure out who the leak is in the police department, but it was really a well done 2-hour Dateline. Highly recommend that.
I will definitely check that out, because I've watched a couple of documentaries on that. Excuse me, that whole situation, and that story is crazy.
It is.
I'll be curious. I mean, I don't know how. I thought they were pretty sure they had him. I don't know how the defense is going to be able to get him off, because I'm pretty sure they have it pretty pegged, fingerprints and DNA and stuff in the house. I'll be curious what the defense is.
Oh, they had copies of his cell phone text. They had his history of searching that special knife that was used. I mean, they put all this in this show. I mean, if I was a juror and I saw that Dateline, I'd have to say, no, he's guilty. You got to throw me off the jury,
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty wild story. Jared, you haven't seen anything about that one?
No, I
know you're not big into true crime. I know. But.
No, I mean, I just saw a story yesterday where a hiker, this young woman, got lost just outside of Scottsdale at this Mountain Head Trail. So I saw that yesterday. That drew my attention a little bit, but no, I don't know. It's funny how we all are on social media, yet it just targets different people with what. I get targeted with BS. I don't even know, baseball 1930s quotes.
Yeah, no.
And you guys obviously have that, that you guys like that. I'm not saying a lot of people do. So they clearly target that stuff at you, where it's just I don't even know what's happening in the world. Sometimes kind of wild.
Well, I always record Dateline. Actually, my sister Mary clued me in on it. She says, you got to check out Dateline from last Friday. It was unreal. And then when I did do it, wow, it was great.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out.
And I'll lighten it up a little bit here. I'm sure Jared will criticize it, because it is definitely an old news thing, but Matt, you'll appreciate this. So I told you this comes full circle. I was out in Boston. We had some bad weather. After the Red Sox game, we went back to the hotel and felt like checking out a movie. And this movie, I've seen it many times on the TV, whether it's on TNT or USA, but never really sat down and watched it. And we were looking at our choices, and we had kind of limited choices of movies at the hotel. So it was a choice between Legally Blonde or Back to the Future. Now, Back to the Future is one of the best movies I think ever made, but I've seen it at least 2 or 3 times. My wife says, I've never seen Legally Blonde. I said, okay, I don't think I've ever seen it in entirety. So we watched it with Reese Witherspoon.
Yep.
It's right up your alley, man. I mean, that was a good movie. That was right in your heyday, right?
Oh yeah, Legally Blonde was a big deal, and that was Reese Witherspoon. Probably one of the biggest ones that burst her onto the scene. But yeah, that's a really good rom-com. Not really a rom-com, it's just a comedy.
Just a comedy, but it was well done. Jennifer Coolidge, a young Jennifer Coolidge, was in that one, and I would just give it a 2.5 on the 3-point scale. I mean, it was a solid watch, sitting in a hotel, and I had never seen it. 2001 it was made, so it definitely was a little outdated. And one final comment on our hotel viewing. The other day, the day we went to the JFK Museum, it was a nor'easter. I mean, it was just a torrential downpour all day long. So we had some hanging time at the hotel and just happened to come across a Rocky marathon. So we watched 1, 2, and 3. Still holds up. Number 1, I mean, it's got to be top 5 movie all time. It really is.
One really is. I mean, it's an incredible movie. I mean, it won an Oscar, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, obviously some of the stuff, it was shot back in the early 70s. So,
Right.
it looks a little outdated, but no, the acting and the writing and everything is just top notch.
Oh, the
Rocky
dialogue
Mary,
was incredible. I mean, when Rocky was courting his, what's her name? Gee,
Adrian.
Adrian. He's courting her, and the dialogue he had with her was an all-time classic.
Yeah. Yep, those are good. Never can go wrong with a Rocky marathon.
Nope. So
But
that's
yeah,
my
so we
update.
we tonight. So again, we're recording Tuesday. Tuesday night is the series finale of Handmaid's Tale. We've been keeping up with it, and this final season is actually been really good. I mean, there's been a couple parts where it's like, all right, let's go, let's move along, let's get this thing going. But they've thrown in some twists. They've brought back a couple characters, and they've made it to where there's been a couple little twists that were kind of like shocking, I guess. But they've made it to where we really want to see how it wraps up, and that we really are not sure if it's going to end up kind of being like happily ever after type of ending, or if there's going to be one more little twist tonight.
Right.
But no, I think I said before, this show has gotten to the point of like, all right, let's finish this thing up. But the final season has been really good. So curious to see the series finale of Handmaid's Tale tonight. We also started the series You that we've talked about. I know, Jared, you've watched that.
Yep.
This is also the final season, is on Netflix right now. This is definitely a show that is just it's absolutely far-fetched, ridiculous, out of control.
Yeah, it kind of jumped the shark a couple seasons ago, in my opinion.
Right.
But.
Yeah, but it's again one of those that we've stuck with, so we've got to see how it plays out. The one thing about it, the writing, Ted, you always talk about the writing. Yep. The writing is good. I'm blanking on the main actor, Joe. I'm
Joe
blanking
Goldberg,
on,
right?
Yeah, Joe Goldberg is
what's
his character.
Yeah.
But he's a great actor. He's fantastic. He's really, really good. There's a couple other really good actors in the movie, so the writing is good. It's just the fact that this thing has gone on for, I think this is season 5, 6 seasons, and he hasn't been caught yet. That's what makes it like, right. All right, it's good, but all right, how does he keep getting away with this stuff is the one thing that makes it whatever. But this final season, we're 3 or 4 episodes in, it's got us again. I mean, this final season is good, and we want to know, all right, how does he get out of this again? Right. Or does the show finally end where he gets caught and killed, or whatever?
Yeah.
So
Penn Badgley is the actor's name. He is great. He's dynamic as Joe Goldberg. That's what makes that show work. If it wasn't a good actor that has some charisma to him, the show would almost not be watchable.
Yeah.
The first 2-3 seasons, it really was awesome and something you'd never really seen before.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the new season. I probably will get around to it at some point. What is he just another? He's just killing more people, and
well, he's back in New York because he got himself wrapped up in so much he had to go overseas,
right?
And he found his now current wife over there. They came back over to New York. He's back in his bookstore, which is a big storyline in the movie where he's got the cage, down in the basement of the bookstore that comes back into play. Of course there's already been some killing and stuff, and so it's just, you can see they're setting it up for fireworks in the final season. He has a son now that is obviously a part of the storyline, so no, it's
Goldberg.
Yeah, man, he's a character. It's always funny too, because there's always goofy stuff with shows like this. His thing, Jared, you definitely know what I'm talking about. When he goes in stealth mode, when his incognito, he's just got a plain black hat. So he'll be out in the city, he's a good looking dude, and now they're rich, so he's fashionable and stuff. But when he's got to go sneak around, all he does is put on a black hat. And it's no one knows who he is because he's got his black hat on.
Yeah, you got to at least put on the tortoiseshell glasses to go with it.
Something.
I got one real quick. So I went to the theaters actually and saw Friendship with Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd.
Oh, that looked good.
It was good. 9.5 stars on my scale. 2.9 stars on the 3-point pod scale.
Yeah.
I really did love it. It's Tim Robinson. Him and Shane Gillis are the it guys right now in comedy. They are the tippy top. They're the best.
Detroiter,
it was
too.
awesome seeing him, because usually when you watch his shows, it's him and a bunch. Usually his cast of friends that are in these shows. It was cool seeing him co-starring with Paul Rudd. It was honestly like the perfect duo. Like sort of when you think about like Dumb and Dumber, how it worked well with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Like there was just something dynamic about Paul Rudd selling his jokes that really worked well. There's so many great gags in the movie. Like just a couple of quick ones, like, and it's just like throwaway lines that are not really that funny when I say them, but like there's something funny about just like in the plot of this movie. Like there's one time he's like trying to get Paul Rudd to go out to eat with him. He's like, dude, come on, man, let's go try the SEAL Team 6 meal. It's what the SEALs ate after they murdered Osama bin Laden. Like it's 4 pounds of ribs and mac and cheese. And like there's just so many like kind of dumb lines. But when you hear him say it, it's hilarious. Like another big like running gag in the show is he gets his clothes from Ocean View Dining. And like 4 or 5 times he says they're the only clothes that fit perfect. And like 4 or 5 different times, like his pants get ruined, and he like it's just a funny gag. He freaks out every time. The funny joke that I always love, like the trope, is when there's the cool guy, which is Paul Rudd, and then there's kind of like the loser or like the nerd like sidekick friend who whatever Paul Rudd does, like he copies it and like keeps copying it. Like for example, like Hangover with Alan and Phil Bradley Cooper. Like anytime Bradley Cooper does something in that movie, Alan copies it and like tries to be cool like him. I just think that's hilarious. He does that throughout the whole movie. The movie looks great. The cinematography is great. One person I'll shout out, Connor O'Malley. You probably never heard of him. He wears a Marine hat in the movie. He plays Tim Robinson's brother Trevor in The Detroiters, and he's hilarious in that. He's got like 5 or 6 lines in this movie, but he's like freaking hilarious. So I can't recommend it enough. I actually went to the theater in Imagine in downtown Birmingham, which Birmingham it's mind-boggling every time I go there.
It is.
But this theater has been around for 100 years, and it was pretty cool. It's like the ceilings are real low. Like as you're walking, like it's almost like you're walking through like a school hallway, like a hotel hallway with this old wallpaper and like old wood everywhere. Like it was honestly a pretty amazing theater right in the heart of Birmingham. So walkable. So yeah, it just was awesome. I can't. Nice. And in comedies, that's an important one to go see in the theaters, because all you hear about is how nobody's making comedies anymore because they don't make money. So more so than a horror flick or the big, Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. Like, this is one that you would argue is very important to go see to keep those type of movies alive. Like, it was a packed theater, and like everybody's dying, laughing, watching it. It was just a good experience and a good flick. It definitely lives up to the hype.
It's funny you brought it up too, because when we were just debating what we were going to do at the hotel, what movie we were going to watch, we did consider going to the movies. I kind of wanted to go see Sinners, and we saw that one, and we both considered it and almost went. So I think I may check that out.
This Tim Robinson is like, I think a lot of people now know who he is, but man, he's the next big thing. He's freaking hilarious.
The trailer, so it is a comedy because the trailer made it look like it was some like weird, almost like a horror movie.
Yeah, they kind of there are some elements of that. Yeah, there are some elements of that where you like they kind of make Tim Robinson like almost like they give him like a serial killer type vibe like sometimes. So no, I'm telling you, it's a movie that you're just like there's like a lot of comedies you need to watch it 2 or 3 times to get those kind of classic lines down to recite. But like I'm telling you, like you're just laughing the whole time.
No, I'm season tickets for Paul Rudd. Anything he does
he's good.
You have to have a certain sense of humor for him. He's pretty dry, with his delivery and stuff. But
I kind of thought it was going to be like when I was going into the theater, I thought his character was going to be like what it is in I Love You, Man, like kind of the like asshole, like in Dinner for Schmucks. Like he plays that same sort of character, but he's kind of like a cool guy, like in this. Like he's just kind of like being Paul Rudd, like what we've learned him from like Ant-Man and that sort of thing. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise. I like him in that role.
Nice.
Good review. Definitely we'll be checking that one out. All right. Anything else, fellers, before we wrap this up?
I'm just ready.
You never know where it's going to go when we turn on these microphones. That's for sure.